Ah, what a great view up here. I think I'm already feeling the great effects of Shinrin Yoku, or forest bathing, how it relieves anxiety and tension and just makes you feel good. And that's why those mornings when I don't want to go up and walk in the woods, and I really have to force myself, when I get done, I just feel a lot better, as if I should have figured that out. So, yep, and here's Mookie with us this morning too. She loves to take these walks. And what I was thinking about this morning was about the concept of sacrifice. It's not one that we really like to consider because, we are so individualistic. We'll sacrifice for our families. Certainly when we decided to have children, we made a sacrifice. And when we chose to take certain decisions, make certain decisions for the benefit of our family over our individual self, well, that's self-sacrificing too. But what about as a nation? How do we sacrifice not for our direct benefit, but for the benefit of the entire nation? And that's what puzzled me. My mom and dad were teenagers during the Great Depression, and they carried a lot of that impact into how they lived their life, sometimes not always to the best. And as a schoolboy, I remember World War II, rationing. We had to give up a lot for that. Couldn't have sweets and chocolates and bubble gum and those important things a young boy depends on. But it was for a greater effort. It was for this immense war engagement in Europe and in the South Pacific. And then the Korean War came. I was in middle school, and as soon as I could, I joined the Marines. Kind of that idea of protecting our country, honor, valor, integrity. Those are important values. And then we got involved in Vietnam just after I got out of the Marines in 1968. And, it seemed like, to me at least, that through the draft it was poor people who were going to Vietnam and not people who got the deferments. And then the Gulf Wars came and gone, and we learned from the draft, so we had this big carrot here, expensive college education, come and join the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and you get a free education. And for a lot of people, their kids said, as a good friend of mine said, "Dad, you can't afford to send us to college. We're joining the Marines." And only one of them came back. But today, I think, of the first time that I could ever recall in my 82 years, really the sense of we are being asked to discomfort ourselves, to isolate ourselves for the good of the whole. And that's difficult. So we see the push today for, let's get back to work. Well, let's not, but let's the government pay those people not having wages to stay home so we can, flatten this curve that's out there. And we can kick up the testing and getting all our resources going for test kits and respirators and ways in which we can fight this thing that's impacting us, but will soon impact the rest of the world, especially the third world, the poor people of the world. Yep. I think we've got to get our heads wrapped around the idea that we do this for each other. We isolate. We don't work. We sanitize. We mask when we go out. We do this for the greater whole. And I think that's a hard concept. Service above self. that we love one another. Of course, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Do we really love each other enough to stay away, to be inconvenienced for the good of all Americans? It has not hit, significantly so, the great poor pockets of our country, but I'm sure that's coming too. So it might not directly affect us, who maybe are more privileged than others, but it's going to affect everyone. And do we love enough to serve enough? I think that's the question. And as we're at this second Sunday of Easter in this season, let us leave it with that. Do we love one another enough to serve the other? God bless you. Have a great day.